stand by you when you're falling, when the river is calling. I said I love you forever, we can make it together. What goes up must come down, there's lots of friendly faces all around, and nothing's ever lifting me higher than a touch of your sweet desire. Well, we're all built in right, we just have to hold on through the night. As long as we are watching the fire, we'll be safe from the devil's choir. I stand by you when you're falling.
Well, good morning everyone. For the eagle-eyed among you, you might notice I'm running solo today. Unfortunately, Claire had a dodgy ruby last night, so yeah, she's not feeling too great, so she said she'd sit this one out. But what I decided for you is, after I've walked the dogs, I'm going to take you somewhere really special. I'm going to go and take you to meet my granddad. Now, I'm not sure if anyone's heard me talk about my granddad, but my granddad actually passed away a couple of years ago. So I'm going to take you to see the real granddad, but I'm going to take you to somewhere very special where they made a waxwork model of him. You've got David Beckham in Madame Tussauds. Well, my granddad's somewhere special too. Come with me and I'll talk on the way and explain. Okay, so now that I've got rid of the distraction of having the dogs with us, I can actually explain to you where we're going and where Grandad is. So in Luton there's a museum called Wardown Museum. Now, Wardown House was built in the late 1800s, but it's actually been a museum formerly called Luton Museum since I think it was 1930. It's a building with huge historical interest. So during the First World War they actually turned it into a makeshift hospital, and yeah, it is still a museum to this day. Now, when my granddad was alive, Grandad used to go to the museum every Wednesday, and any members of the public that wanted to ask any questions about national service or tracing relatives down who'd served in the army, Grandad used to go there all morning and he'd speak to people. He didn't get paid for it, it was just volunteer work. Now, as they expanded the exhibition, they decided that they wanted a waxwork to represent a stereotypical person who was doing their national service around about the time that my granddad was. And obviously, because he went there once a week and because he was so involved with the museum, they actually made the waxwork based upon him. And there's even a sign there that says this is John Varney, which was his name. And yeah, it's basically to represent your stereotypical serviceman that served during national service. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over there. I'm going to take you around the house because it is interesting. It's an interesting museum. It does show you all of the things that Luton's famous for. I know Luton gets a lot of bad press, but when you go around the museum, you realise actually there was the hat making industry. You've got Vauxhall. You've got Luton Town Football Club, who have won major trophies, used to play in top flight, and they're knocking on the door of top flight football again. So yeah, I'm going to take you around the museum and I'm going to show you Grandad as well. I'll pick you up when we get there.
This is the statue of my granddad, who served in the Beds and Herts Regiment from 1952, which was also the year my mum was born, meaning he didn't see her until she was nearly a year old. You can also see him in this picture out in Egypt. He's the one without his top off, standing in front of the boat.
I served in the Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire Regiment in the late 1950s. The history of the regiment and this museum is important to me and to those who served in the regiment and to the people of Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire. It is important that we commemorate the sacrifices made by those who served and that future generations understand our history. We are sure this new gallery will help us to do that. We have worked hard with the Wardown House education team to make sure children and families can enjoy and learn in the museum.
The rest of the museum pays homage to various different areas of yesteryear, including a tribute to the hat making industry in Luton, an exhibition for when the house was used as a hospital during the First World War, with tiles portraying pictures of the nurses and doctors. The house also has a resident ghost on the landing, a gorgeous ornate stairwell that takes you downstairs to the cafe and tea rooms, there are moving talking pictures that should be in Harry Potter, and a gramophone that's been nicked from the HMV dog. But downstairs is the house's second most important exhibit, and that is the exhibit for Luton Town Football Club.
So that was a tour around Wardown Museum. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm just going to take you for a quick walk around Wardown Park, which sits in front of the museum now. See what you think. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that trip around Wardown Park Museum. Kind of wanted to show you Grandad, and also wanted to show you Luton as well, because it gets bad publicity, but you've got a lot of history to Luton, and there are some nice parts, like the park. So yeah, kind of just wanted to show you that. I had a couple of nice surprises throughout this vlog. So first of all, I completely forgot that my granddad's voice is on the video that I saw in the exhibition, where he talks about them moving the exhibition from downstairs to upstairs. So it was really quite nice to hear my granddad again. I think the other thing that really surprised me and was really nice was as I was walking up to the sign for Wardown Museum, and you can believe this if you will, but there was a robin on top of the sign. Now, in my family, there's always been a lot of talk about robins being birds that bring messages from people that are no longer with us. So I don't know, perhaps it was Grandad, who knows, or perhaps it was a message from Grandad just to let me know that he's all well. But yeah, a bit of a different vlog this week, sort of van life but without the van. and also a couple's van life, but without Claire as well. So yeah, next week we'll be back in the van and we'll be back having adventures together. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like, give us a comment, you know, thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Cheers, speak to you soon.